Hello and welcome to Kajiggles Tanks. I'm your host Kajiggles. Today we are going to do a Fluval Flex 15-gallon tank review. So as you can see, I already have the tank set up here on my cabinet. Here's my setup. So I want to talk about the pros and cons of this tank. This did come as a kit, and I bought this from my local fish store. So first off, the pros. Obviously, the biggest thing is the sleek design. So, very nice black background. It has the hex paneling so that you don't see the light and don't see the water level as much. The glass going all the way from the lid all the way down to the bottom looks very sleek. And the biggest, part of its design is that curve. It looks very interesting, very different than other tanks. So then we have the lid, one nice solid piece, and it does come with an opening for food, and it comes with another spot that you can punch out to have another opening. I did not do that. Up here in the right hand corner, that is the sensor for the lights. So it comes with a remote, and as you can see, there are a lot of different lighting options. Now I haven't tried all these options with my fish yet, and I'm not going to do that in this video. I've only had the fish for 2 days now, going on the third day, and I do not want to startle them since they're still getting used to their new home. But there are many different color options with lighter or darker, as well as a night option and a storm option, which is very interesting. I haven't tried them yet. I will try all the options eventually. I do like the different options that it does include, so that is a pro. Another pro is the water intake. So it has a water intake on top and down below, which I really enjoy that there's two spots. It's going to keep the water more equal parts with the heating and filtration. Then let's take the top off. Something else that I really enjoy is the 3 separate spots that they have inside the tank for the filtration system. So in this first spot, it is completely empty, and this is what feeds the water from the tank itself into the filter setup. But you can include extra filter in it, which I have not, but that is something that I'm thinking about possibly doing, especially if I add more fish. Then the filter has a sponge, it has ceramic in it, and it also has charcoal. I'm not going to take it out right now since I have, it's still running. And then over here, this is where the water the pump goes back into the tank. Really like it. There's a flexible nozzle heads, dual, really like that. So lots of pros on this tank. Very interesting design. There's my gouramis, look very nice. Now, some of the cons. So one thing is, you're buying a fish kit, and usually when you think of a fish kit, you're thinking you get everything except for, the fish and some plants and, maybe the substrate as well to, get set up. The one thing that this does not include is a heater. So there is a spot for the heater right next to the air pump. That is where they say it should go. That's where I placed it. There's definitely plenty of room in there, and it's nice that the water is heated outside of the actual tank before it goes in. Helps keep things more even, which I like that. But you're paying upwards of $120 for a tank, and it doesn't include everything. So, if you're just getting into the hobby, I would suggest getting something that is cheaper. And then if you really enjoy the hobby, then go into this tank. It's really nice. 15 gallons is a little bit interesting of a size. Usually you're thinking 10-gallon for a beginner, which could be difficult because it's smaller, keeping the water healthy. Or you're thinking 20, which, that's a nice size. You can get lots of different fish in there. But, this is a very interesting size, 15 gallon. But it doesn't come with the heater, so that's an additional cost on top of the $120. I know on Amazon, that's what they're selling for, $120 or $129. You're gonna pay at least like $20 more for a heater, plus everything else that you're going to stock your tank with. Another thing with the lid and with the lighting options that, I talked about, I do like the lighting options, but there are some cons with it as well. So the first con is where the light sensor is placed. So, it's not central, which is okay, but because it's in the corner here, if you're trying to turn on the light or change the light and you're standing at a weird angle or angled to the tank, it's not going to work. So, if you're, sitting down at a couch or something and you want to turn on your tank, or you wake up in the morning and, like I have it in my bedroom, I can't turn it on from my bed. So, I have to stand up and, go closer to the tank. Not the biggest thing, but it is a con. The other thing is, for the plants that I have in my tank, this is not an issue for me, but it could be for heavier planted tanks and then plants that need a stronger light. The light, LED light, pretty strong, but it is not recommended for high light plants. So all the plants I have in here, I have 4 separate plants. They're all either low maintenance light or medium maintenance light. And I did that on purpose because I talked to the people at my local fish shop. They're very helpful. They did say that, this is a good tank. The light will work for a planted tank, but you need low or medium level. And the local fish shop, it was great. They have all their plants labeled that. So it was really easy for me. But that is a possible limitation for what you can have in your tank. So overall, what are my thoughts on the Fluval Flex 15 gallon? I really like it. I am just getting into the hobby. I had tanks growing up with my family, but we always had the basic level tank. So this is something very special to me because, it's really nice. Oh, there's not the black molding around. It's a unique design. I really like that. Really shows off the fish, which I really like. But as I mentioned before, if you were looking into getting into the hobby and, you want to have, a community tank and getting a planted tank, which I highly suggest, you're going to be needing substrate, that a nutritious substrate or something to help with the plant growth. You're also going to be needing a heater. You might want to do extra filtration, and then the cost of all your fish as well. This can get pretty pricey. You're already starting at $120, but you already need to buy a heater on top of that. So, I would suggest this tank for someone who already has one tank, maybe a 10 or a 20 gallon, and they've really enjoyed it, but now they want to go into something a little bit different. Or if someone, let's say, has a betta fish, and maybe on the smaller side, like a 5 gallon or a 10 gallon, and they're like, I really enjoy having a single fish, I want to do a community tank now, I would highly suggest this tank. It's very unique. Really like the design of it. Really like the black background. It also comes in white. I preferred black. There's plenty of space, both vertically and down low, to plant, to have fish for different water levels. And I also like that you can add additional things to it and you're not going to be seeing that equipment in the tank. The only thing that you see in the tank itself is the output of the water and then the input of the water, and obviously that's going to be in there. So I really like that for the sleek design, keeping everything out of the tank, giving your fish more room. So overall, I'd probably give this out of 5, like a 4.5 out of 5. You could, for everything it has, how much money, a more advanced person in the hobby, this is going to be perfect for them. If you're just starting off, I would buy like the $1 per gallon tank just to get started. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.